The campaign begins.
Whoa. This is not what Paimon was expecting. This is creepy. Feels like there are loads of eyes staring at us.
Calm, yet repressed. The signs are all there.
What is it, Mizuki? Figured something out?
Nothing new. Just further confirmation of my suspicions. Emura Ichigensai should be hiding deep inside this place. Stay close to me.
He set up an ambush?
Seems like we're not welcome here.
Get to work! Eat Laline! Eat Papa! Get up!
Rise with the sun! Wrath of the sky!
Miss Yume Mizuki, you found me at last. And I see you've brought some friends with you. Please, forgive my lack of hospitality.
Emura Chuya. So it is you.
Mizuki was right after all. Paimon wasn't expecting him to be so polite, though.
Please, do not call me by that name anymore. The old me was plagued by negative emotions, but I have parted ways with them now. That period of my life is consigned to the past, and the name along with it.
You have to listen to me. There is no way to get rid of all your negative emotions. This life you're living now is a lie.
Your perspective is most amusing.
What's so funny? Don't you know you're harming people?
Harming people? That's what you believe? Very well. I understand and accept your perspective, even if you cannot afford me the same courtesy in return.
What is up with him? He's being so calm and polite. So why does everything he says make Paimon want to punch him?
As you can see, Miss Yume Mizuki, all my psychological problems have been completely resolved. I must thank you for your attempts to diagnose my condition, but I see now that the truth is far simpler than you were proposing. All my misery was merely a consequence of human frailty. I could not hope to remove my emotional impurities on my own strength. I lived in fear and anger. Fear that I was not worthy of other people's attention. Anger at how they invalidated me. I became a slave to my emotions. They turned me into a wretched and loathsome creature, hostile to everyone. But things are different now. I have acquired the ability to eradicate those emotions for good. No longer will I be afraid. Never again will I be stirred to anger. No, I am filled now with only one emotion, And that is happiness. I have become humanity perfected.
What I'm hearing is that you've developed your own unique understanding of psychological issues. So how about you play therapist this time? I have a couple of cases I'd love to hear your thoughts on.
I would be delighted.
The first is a soldier with poor control of his temper. He flies off the handle too easily, and it gets him into all sorts of trouble. This is having a significant impact on his daily life, and he's developed symptoms of depression as a result.
He simply needs to let go of his anger. Then he will surely find peace and happiness.
The second is a fisherman who's developed thalassophobia. Now he is unable to provide for his family, which is causing him immense anxiety.
Oh, of course. He must cast his fear far away and forget it ever existed. Then he can return to the sea at once.
I'm sorry, but you're wrong on both counts.
Oh?
The soldier's anger is rooted in his strongly held principles. Yes, his rage can make him reckless, but it also fuels his deep desire to stand against injustice. Losing his anger made him passive and apathetic. He now stands by and does nothing as bandits attack innocent people. The fisherman's fear made him one of the most reliable sailors around. Thanks to his cautiousness and diligence, accidents were a rare occurrence among his crew, despite the dangers of their profession. But after forgetting his fear, he destroyed the fruits of the entire crew's labor on his first return to the sea. Fascinating, isn't it? Anger gives people the courage to stand up for what they believe in, and fear nurtures care and attention. Emotions are integral to human dreams, and after many years of dealing with their dreams, the Emuragui Baku have learned an important secret about human emotions. Negative emotions do not just go away. They will always be there. This is true for everyone. Not only that, but their presence is essential. You can't have a healthy human psyche without negative emotion. So do you have any idea what you've done to those poor men?
What an amusing theory. In fact, I do remember those two. But I'm afraid that the only emotion I sense in them now is happiness. How can you believe that negative emotions are required for a healthy psyche? It's a laughable theory. Don't you remember how I was when we first met? You call that healthy?
Acknowledging that negative emotions exist doesn't mean giving them free rein over our minds and lives. Humans have a whole gamut of emotions. They're supposed to keep each other in balance. But if that balance gets disrupted, emotions start working against each other. Untethered rage cripples the capacity to be careful and considerate. Uncontained fear drives people to abandon beliefs they once held dear. The person you were when you first came to my practice only proves this further. You were dominated by your emotions. Under their influence, you deliberately inflicted pain on other people. Meanwhile, the person you are now is so lost that you aren't even aware of the pain you're bringing to others. This diagnosis is going to sound harsh, but I'm afraid it's accurate. You've simply gone from one extreme to another. You say you've reached perfection, but you're just as dysfunctional now as where you started.
Phew. How entertaining. Still, there's no need for me to argue back. You have failed to provoke me. I will forgive you for this offense, because I know my present perfection to be a fact. I have direct and incontrovertible evidence. You once told me that nightmares are the result of a buildup of negative emotions. But ever since I acquired my present abilities, I never had another nightmare again. Clearly, that proves that all of my negative emotions have been definitively eradicated.
I'm afraid not. Look where we are right now. We're inside your nightmare.
What?
No wonder! Paimon knew something was up the moment we arrived!
The enemies that we encountered were manifestations of his negative emotions. That can only happen in a nightmare.
No, that can't be.
That entity claimed it could remove your negative emotions, but all it did was separate them and store them deep in your subconscious, beyond your reach. There they were left to fester. Your situation is far worse than that of the other victims. It has deceived you at a much deeper level. You can't even perceive that at this very moment, you're in the middle of a nightmare.
How laughable. Fear? No. There is no fear left in me. This is all just a terrible joke. This is no dream. No.
Something's appeared behind him.
So, my arch-nemesis has seen through my trickery. Clearly, you came prepared. The emotional cocoon I'd wrapped him in was all but impenetrable. Yet still, you managed to tear it down.
So it is you. Just as I thought.
What is that?
A nightmare monster. A fearsome yokai that was once the bane of Inazuma. We Yumekui Baku eat the nightmares of humans, while they called those nightmares their home. So we were natural enemies. When I heard the traveler recount that strange dream, I knew that this was a possibility. But it's still a shock to see one of our long-lost arch-enemies in the flesh. They were supposed to have gone extinct long ago.
Then allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Kurayume, and I am the last of my kind.
Kurayume. That's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time. How have you survived all these years?
Likewise. Yume Mizuki is a name that takes me back to a different age. Although I must say, we may be born enemies, but I have never felt any great animosity toward you personally. Ultimately, the fall of the nightmare monsters was the fault of our hosts. Humans are such fragile creatures. But now, I have found a way to revive my kind, and you are too late to stop me.
Oh no! We've got to catch up to him!
What's happening? Paimon's feeling dizzy all of a sudden.
That's the feeling of rejection. It's so strong. Quick! After him!
There he is! Right there! Whoa! What happened to all the paths?
He's repressing his emotions even harder.
the engines!
Turn that frown upside down. Time to relax.
There! He's got nowhere left to run! Whoa! What's happening to the ground?
Watch out!
I used my powers to cushion our fall. Is everyone all right?
Don't worry, we've fallen from bigger heights before. The bigger issue here is that he got away and we were so close! Ugh.
We've been completely cut off. That creature has taken complete control of his consciousness. We'll never catch him.
Would it be easier if we wake up now and go catch him in the real world? If this is his nightmare, he must be asleep somewhere, right?
Remember the fragrance we smelled on our way in? That's how the monster lures people into the dream state. Now we're inside. We can't get out unless we manage to defeat him in his true form. He's turned Emuragui's nightmare into his lair. There's only one way to force him into the open, and that's by finding a way to eat this nightmare.
Eat this nightmare? But is that even possible?
Not only is it possible, Paimon, it's quite literally my job.
Oh, Paimon knows that. It's just... We all saw what happened to Murasaki and Shion, and this nightmare is super intense. Paimon's worried this won't turn out well.
This monster has harmed too many people. We have to stop it. It's okay. I knew what I was getting into. Let's get moving. We may not have caught him, but our chase wasn't in vain. He led us deep inside his dream. We should now be at the subconscious layer that makes up its core.
It's so dark.
That's what happens if you leave your negative emotions to fester. There must be a lot of emotional fragments in this place. We need to follow them one by one until we reach our destination.
Wait, but what is our destination?
Where the light is.
If I say it's your fault, it's your fault! Do you understand me? You shouldn't go running around with that stupid thing in your hand! Do you want to go hungry tonight?
Ugh, the atmosphere here is so oppressive. Is it anger or fear?
Be careful. Every time we draw near to one of these fragments, we'll experience the underlying emotion on a visceral level.
Rise with the sun! Full throttle!
You, a writer? Didn't they reject you already? Get rid of this trash! Go find a real job!
Aw, poor guy. Paimon feels so bad for him.
We shouldn't stay here. Let's keep moving.
Ha ha! I won! Another round? That guy? He never joins in with anything. Why should we go out of our way to invite him? Let's keep playing. Ignore him.
Wow, that's so sad.
Nope. Not here either.
Look! There's the light! What is this place?
It's his sorrow. Yes, sheer overwhelming sorrow. Human emotions exist in a delicate balance. When that balance is lost, negative emotions spiral out of control and go on to fuel nightmares. By isolating these negative emotions and allowing them to fester, that monster has completely destroyed his emotional balance. That's why he was able to create such a powerful nightmare. If we want to restore balance, we have to dispose of the excess negative emotion.
Oh, so that's what you mean when you talk about eating nightmares.
Well done, Paimon. Very clever.
Aw. Alright, what's the next step?
I need to find a way to separate the negative emotions out. For that, I need a special medium. Sorrow might just do the job. As long as it's kept in check, it can calm the waves of emotions and help him regain some measure of control.
Let it out, Chuya. Let the tears flow. You'll feel better after a good cry.
This process will untangle his unbridled fear and anger, his unresolved resentment, and his unshakable despair. These excess emotions will be separated out from the rest. They are the source of this nightmare.
Mizuki!
It's all right. It's an unpleasant flavor, but I've tasted it thousands of times. A good cry can work wonders. Even though he seems beyond helping, I think he should be able to take another step out from the swamp of despair now.
Are you ready to come out now, Chuya? I'll be waiting for you right here, son. I'd love to listen to more of your stories whenever you're ready.
All right, there goes that nightmare. Hopefully this marks the beginning of a sweeter dream.
Amazing! Suddenly, Paimon feels so relaxed and maybe even happy?
I thought I had found the perfect host, but you found the one weakness in his emotional armor.
Ah! He's back again!
Freeing a single host from my clutches changes nothing! You cannot stop me! I told you you are too late!
What is this place?
I can't believe it. He's brought us to the borderland.
Borderland?
To put it simply, it's a dream within a dream. A space hidden deep within the collective Inazuman subconscious. A dream that can exist even without a host. This must be how that monster managed to survive the extinction of his kind. He hid here.
Mizuki, that eye.
He's trying to turn this place into a nightmare so he'll be more at home. And he's creating copies of himself. This place is connected to the dreams of every human in the nation. From here, he can place a copy of himself in every dream. If he succeeds, then he'll have effectively revived his kind already.
Then we know what we need to do. We gotta take this guy down! Do we think a sword will do the job?
Maybe, if we can get close enough to reach his core. But he's brought the nightmares of all his victims here, and that gives him an immense amount of power. Dealing with this many in one go is going to take a different approach. We need a power to rival his nightmares. The power of sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams? Where are we gonna find those?
Lost minds. There should be some around here, and some of them will have come from sweet dreams originally. Come on, follow me.